normal health practice. So, turns out that's also a pretty common method of people trying to induce labor naturally or at home or whatever. Kidding me. So, looked into that. Pretty much the consensus that I got was that people took about 2 tablespoons, and it's really gross. So gross. I just recommended it to a friend of mine to get her labor going, and she described it as a crayon coming in her mouth, which is pretty accurate. I like it. It tastes like crayons, straight up. But you do 2 tablespoons, mix it in with a glass of orange juice because it kind of masks the taste a little bit, or at least makes it a little bit more palatable. And then try to stir it up as much as you can. It's not gonna mix together because it's fucking oil. It just kind of stays at the top. But you try to mix it up as much as you can, and then just chug it. Like, you don't want to try to sit there and sip it. I don't know why. I don't know. Just chug it, okay? Best piece of advice. So did that. Ended up going that route. Now, also, another word of caution, I read that a lot of people, it did not do anything for them except for give them the runs. So, what I found is if you don't have any signs of labor, like you're not dilated at all, you don't have any Braxton Hicks contractions making you think labor's coming soon, if none of that stuff is going on, do not take castor oil because it's not going to help you. It's just going to make you really uncomfortable. And if you're not like solidly hydrated, it is a diuretic, so it's going to completely dehydrate you. And I also, when we called our midwife and let them know that I had taken it, she was also saying, drink a lot of water, to get that stuff out of there because it can dehydrate your uterus. And it's not, you might think it's contracting, but it's not actually contracting for labor. It's contracting because it's dehydrated. So it's just putting pressure on your baby and it's not doing anything for you. So there's a possibility. That was not the case for me though, because I knew I was so close to labor. I knew that I just needed like one really good like push over that threshold of fake labor versus real labor. This was, in hindsight, in the actual moment, I didn't know what the hell was going on. But in hindsight, it was a freaking godsend. Like, it happened pretty much so smoothly, so quickly. It was awesome. But like I said, I don't recommend it for everybody, but it worked. It worked for me, at least. So I took it, the 2 tablespoons with orange juice, and it was a tall glass of orange juice. Like, I wanted that shit to be diluted. And that was about 3 o'clock. Drank it, sort of like sat around the house, laid around, maybe like folded laundry or something. Nothing like super strenuous or anything. And that was something that I did against what other people recommended. People recommended like getting out and walking and, being active to get all that going. I didn't want to dance with the devil that much. So I just kind of took it slow, took it easy, was really paying attention to my body, trying to make sure that, you know, things didn't get out of hand quickly. Or, at all, really. Like things didn't get too crazy, too fast, or just where I didn't feel like I was in control anymore. Um, anyway, so did that around 3 o'clock, putted around the house. Um, I was also reading that it usually takes about 3 hours for it to start working. So I had made that like that was my time frame. If within 3 hours nothing happened, then I would, go with another dose and see what happened. Um, and then sort of like keep progressing like that. But it was just like a small bottle. And then also on the bottle it says don't exceed four tablespoons. So I was also going to like as the 3 hours progressed, I was going to sort of like bring down the dosage. I don't know, just whatever. So 3 hours came and went, nothing happened. So it was a little bit after 6. I had another glass with, I think I actually made another 2 tablespoons in that glass, but the taste, it's so freaking gross. I could only do like one more gulp, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm done. I don't even care if this doesn't work. I'm not drinking more of that. So after that happened, I think it was like 7:30 or 8 maybe even when things started going. So it didn't feel uncomfortable. Like it wasn't like bad cramps or, anything like that. It was just I had to poop a lot. So I was just like constantly on the toilet for maybe, oh, how long was that? So if it was like 7:30 or 8, so then that would have been like a couple of hours just like going here and there to the bathroom. Not, I think maybe closer to 9 or something, it started to cramp up a little bit more because I was running out of stuff to poop. um, but I mean, it still wasn't uncomfortable or anything. It was just like I knew that things were coming to an end. And at that point too, I was also getting frustrated because I thought, okay, well, now I'm running out of, not only am I running out of poop, but it's not hurting me. It's not, I don't feel anything happening, so it must not have worked. So then I was getting frustrated because now that's one more thing that just wasn't working. And then 10:30 or so rolls around. And those little cramps that I didn't think were doing anything turned into a big cramp. And I was like, ow. Yeah, that much gusto behind it too. So it's just like, ow, this has turned into something else. But for whatever reason, in my mind, it did not click for me. This is probably labor. Like Jeremy was there and was sort of like standing by trying to make sure, do you need anything? Do you need like Gatorade or water or anything like that? Because I mean, he didn't know what to expect either. But through all of this, once that 10:30 point came around and I was like, ow, that hurts. Like, not just, I gotta poop really badly hurts. It really hurts. And I was sitting there. At that point, I didn't have anything else to poop. So, I mean, that was done. And then we're sitting there and we're kind of timing it. I was telling Jeremy when my contractions were happening. He was timing it. And he was like, you know, these are getting pretty regular. Are you sure these aren't contractions? And I was like, no, I just have to poop. Like, it didn't feel how I thought they would feel. Like, you read everywhere that Braxton Hicks contractions are just going to be down below, sort of like menstrual cramps, and in your back. And they'll start, they'll start up front and work toward your back or something like that. And real contractions are going to be all over your front. And then it starts in your back and goes to your front. And, like, that's where everything concentrates. And it's all over your belly. It's not just down below. It's all over. No, not true. That is not always true. These felt down low, like really bad menstrual cramps. Did not feel them in my back, really. And it was just like a really piercing, concentrated pain. Right where the sun don't shine. And kind of like all of that time without getting my period. And my period cramps suck. Like, I've been hospitalized for them before. So I was kind of prepared for that sort of pain and more. These felt like a really concentrated period cramp. So in a way, I think in the back of my mind, I knew these were different. But once Jeremy started timing them and they were getting really regular, and we called our midwife, and be careful of this too. We called our midwife and told her we had taken the castor oil. She didn't take us seriously. So, yeah, keep that in mind. She just thought that the castor oil had just dehydrated my uterus. I was getting really bad cramps because of that. And I just needed to rehydrate and wait it out. So that's what we did. And that's what I kept telling myself throughout this whole thing. Jeremy was like, no, we need to go to the hospital. This doesn't seem right. And I was just like, no, we're fine. It felt like, so I had the concentrated pain up front, but then I also felt a pressure. In my colon, I guess. Like, I had like a huge blockage or something that just needed to come out, and it just wasn't coming out. I don't know why I thought it was a blockage when I had just taken a laxative. How is that even possible? I'm an idiot. I don't know what I was thinking. But I just kept telling myself and kept telling Jeremy, no, I just need to poop. It's just one more big poop. That's it. So I was sitting there, frustrated. I didn't go crazy, though. I thought I was going to be, like, cussing up a storm, being pissed off at Jeremy and everybody else around me. No, I was pretty much just pissed off at that cramp. Like, it didn't go away. Eventually, it felt like it stayed on for continuously. No relief. And that was the most frustrating part. No relief whatsoever. Not even like, it didn't even seem like 10 seconds of relief. And I was so looking for, like, you know, I don't know. With cramps, to me, it's like they could be the hardest, worst cramp ever, but you look forward to that little bit of relief in between each one. So you can just like catch your breath. At that point, I should have known this is not right. We need to go to the hospital. But for whatever reason, I did not trust my, I don't know, my instinct. Didn't trust Jeremy. And went with what the midwife said and just thought, okay, well, it's just dehydrated. I need to drink more water. And that actually backfired at one point because I was just like so sure that's what it was. I was chugging water, chugging Gatorade, and at one point I ended up puking because it was too much. Like the pain of the contraction and the intake of liquid all at once was just too much, and I puked. Only once, which was cool, but still, it was horrible. And then it was weird too, like it seemed like I could walk around. At first, I could walk around and it'd give me a little bit of relief, but then eventually that didn't help. And that still was not a red flag for me. So then I sat on the toilet and started, like, I was like sitting but leaned back, and there was like, I can't remember what it was behind me, but there was something on the tank of the toilet that made like a little headrest. So I was like reclined on the toilet with my head resting on this thing, and I was pretty much naked. Yeah, like I had a sports bra on, pretty much naked, but it was so nice. Like the cooling effect of the porcelain was so nice on my back and my neck, and it seemed like that position relieved pressure off of my front just enough, and put enough pressure on my colon that it felt like it was starting to move things along. Obviously, in hindsight, that was probably him moving down the birth canal more and more, and allowing me to relax enough that he could move down more and more. But yeah, in hindsight, a lot of this is pretty funny to me. But so I'm sitting there on the toilet, pretty much naked, sitting there, and like sometimes, like, the pressure was always there constantly, but there would be just a little bit of I guess less pressure. It wasn't like total relief, like I was saying, like I was looking for just like a break here or there, and it never happened. But it was just like less pressure once when I initially leaned back and got the pressure off of my front, then I could kind of like but then it would start up again, and I just remember like I would like come up and then just start, like, the sink is right in front of my toilet, and I was just like banging my hand on the sink like, fuck you, no, this hurts, ah. And Jeremy's in our bathroom and bedroom are connected, so he's just like in the bedroom, just standing there with my water and my Gatorade, just waiting for me to come out. And I'm sitting there cussing at the sink, banging on the sink, and like getting up and walking around, then sitting down, then getting up and walking around, and bouncing on the ball and getting up, and just all over the place. I was freaking crazy. And really, I don't know why that wasn't enough for me to say, okay, yeah, this is labor, we need to go. So it was like that for a few hours. And eventually, like, I was on the toilet. What's wrong? Okay, sorry, I had to switch. So, um, okay. So, yeah, I don't know why that wasn't my clue that this is no longer poop. This is your baby coming out. Maybe that kept me more calm than I would have been. I really doubt it though. If I had been told, excuse me, if I had been told, "No, this is you. This is your labor." I would have been so much more calm cuz I was like thinking about it later, I was like, that wasn't shit. That was nothing like I thought labor was going to be. They make it sound like people make it sound like I don't know, like your whole body is breaking down because this baby's coming out. And I was like, seriously, I thought it was like the worst poop of my life because of all of that pressure that was down there. And yeah, it sucked. It was really uncomfortable, but I feel like if I had been told, "No, you're in labor. You've got some pretty good contractions here." Bring it on. Bring it the fuck on then. Cuz this ain't shit. That's how I felt. But of course, nobody told me that. When we called, they said, "No, you don't know what you're talking about. You just messed up your body, whatever." So I was sitting there freaking out because of this poop. Anyway, so I was sitting on the toilet doing one of my recline things. And then it was like at that point when not even that would relieve the front pressure, I was like, okay, I'm tired, I'm cold. I don't I don't even care if I poop on myself. A hot bath sounds really nice right now. And now I know I talked to a few people about water births, and I'm not a huge bath taker, not a huge water person. Like I like going to the beach and stuff, but you won't see me getting in and playing in the water a whole lot. I don't go to swim parks and all of that shit. It's not for me. So a few people were asking me, I'd been talking about going natural this whole pregnancy, and people always have something to say and whatever. But something that came up quite a bit, because I mean, a lot of people end up opting for it, is water births and laboring in a tub or a pool or something like that. And so, people had asked me about that, and I was like, yeah, that's not really my thing. It doesn't calm me a whole lot like it does for other people, so I don't think it would really do a whole lot for me. I was wrong. I At one point, I was just like so done with sitting on the toilet and nothing really productive happening. I was just like, and I tried to lay in my bed. I thought my bed was gonna be my savior because my bed is like my number one fan. It encourages me every day. It's like my I don't know, my little piece of heaven. Like, if I'm having a bad day at work, I just imagine my bed and it makes everything better. Once I get home, I just go straight to bed and it's so nice. It's big, it's comfy, it's warm. So nice. I thought my bed was going to be my laboring place, but I was wrong. I tried to get into my bed. Once I tried laying down, it seemed like I don't know if it was gravity or what, but like the pressure was real. It hurt when I tried to lay down. And I tried laying on my back, I tried laying on my side, I tried going on all fours and like propping up pillows underneath me to, get like I don't even know, like a comfortable kneeling position or something. I don't even know how to describe it. But I tried so many things because I thought my bed was going to be like it was going to save me, and it didn't. Um, oh, and kind of like I mentioned earlier, so that heat pack thing, I thought the heat pack was going to help me too. Jeremy warmed up the heat pack that we have. Um, and I tried to put it on my stomach. It was like the worst thing. I don't know what happened, but it was like it burned. Like the pain didn't just pierce anymore. It was like a piercing burn. And I don't know what that was about. Maybe because everything was just like so intense at that point. But yeah, I put it on there and then I was like, oh, hell no. Tore that shit off so fast and tried to put it on my back. It felt the same way on my back, like just so uncomfortable. It like painful, not even uncomfortable, like painful. Like I pretty much like when I tore it off of my body, I pretty much jumped off the bed too because it was bad. So anyway, went through that whole phase, and that's when I really started getting frustrated because I was like, if I can't even get comfortable on my bed, how am I going to do this? Um so anyway, so back to the point of no return. So I'm sitting on the toilet in that reclined position. That's not working anymore. I'm thinking I need to do something. Almost gave you guys a little peep show. So I'm thinking, I'm cold, I'm tired. I want to just lay down and warm up a little bit. And but I don't know what it was, but I just immediately thought, okay, bathtub, and it was right there. So I just reached over, turned on the water, didn't fill it up or anything. Um oh no, I was trying to. I was trying to fill it up, and Jeremy was not letting me fill it up cuz I don't know. I wasn't even listening to him at that point. I was just like, I need to get in there, take off this pressure. I don't care if the pressure is so awesome that I end up pooping in the tub. I will take a shower afterwards. I just need this to get out. Um, so yeah, there I was in the tub, ready to poop in the tub if it would just give me a little bit of pressure. And that still was not my clue. This is freaking labor. So I'm sitting there, and what's funny is I'm sitting there pushing. I'm pushing at this point. Like there was a strong urge to just get it out. And I must have done it fairly quietly for a while. Because I can remember I was sitting there, well, and I was tossing and turning too, because it was like I could lay on one side, it would be really nice for a couple of seconds, and then the pressure would come back. So then I'd roll over to try to, I don't know, trick my body or something into not being able to catch up to, where, I don't know. So, I kept tossing and turning. While I was doing that, I was pushing. And like I said, I must have been doing that fairly quietly because I had been doing that for a while before Jeremy was like, what are you doing? Are you pushing? So, yeah, I was thinking I was trying to poop, and I was like, yeah, I'm pushing. I was like, it's right there. I can feel it. It's right there. I just need to poop it out. And he was like, no, that's the baby. And I was like, no, it's not. It's the poop. I feel it in my butt. It's not in my vagina. It's in my butt. And all the lights were off. Pretty much all the lights were off. There's a, like, one of the windows lets the street light in. So we had like that much light coming in. But other than that, like, all the lights were off. Um, that's one thing that did help me. I don't like this. I don't like all lights on all over the place. I like darkness. It's very soothing to be in dark places for me. Um, and really, I was okay with being alone. Like, Jeremy did a really good job of just staying out of my way. Um, so kind of, I like labored like a cat, pretty much. Like, find a dark place all by yourself and just let it out. So, and I had a feeling that's kind of how I was going to labor, but not at my house. Um, but anywho, so Jeremy was like, no, that's the baby. So at that point, he turns on the lights, and there had been like, not like a blood trail, but like a mucus trail from the toilet to the tub. And he was like, is that blood? And I wasn't even paying attention, so I didn't even look. I didn't care. I was like, I don't know. It's probably from my butt. It hurts so bad. Which, that should have been a red flag too, that I was bleeding from my asshole. But, you know, who cares when, you're just trying to get that really good poop out. So he's like, no, I think that's blood. Are you bleeding? Did your water break? And I was like, I don't know. Get out of my face. I was just so focused on trying to push. I was like, why are you asking me? I don't care. I don't care if I bled. I don't care if my water broke. Like, I'm focused on this poop. Like, it's right there. I'm trying to get it out, and you're trying to break my focus. So he's like looking, and I remember, like, when he asked if I was bleeding or whatever, I remember looking at the water. There wasn't any blood or anything in the water. But then I could see the reflection of, I don't know what that thing is called. But, there's like a little circular, like a circular plate or something in your bathtub. And